All right, here we are. I mean, this is the one we've been waiting for. It is the big press conference. We spoke to or saw. Look at this. By the way, before we go, look at this. I can't wait. June 1st, live on the zone. Look at that. Sensational. Artur Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol for all the belts at 175 pounds. Wow. Wow. Stick with us. Not just that on the zone. So much more coming your way as well.
The Artur Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol fight is heating up as the two fighters come face-to-face in a recent event. Known for his devastating power, Beterbiev could overwhelm Bivol, whose preference for throwing combinations often leaves gaps in his defense. If Bivol gets caught by one of Beterbiev's counters, it could spell serious trouble. Dmitry Bivol has built his reputation on slick footwork and sharp boxing technique, skills that helped him outclass stars like Canelo Alvarez and Gilberto Ramirez. However, he's yet to encounter a force quite like IBF, WBC, and WBO title holder Artur Beterbiev, whose knockout power makes him a completely different challenge. Bivol has yet to face an opponent like Beterbiev, and it's uncertain whether his in-and-out attack strategy will hold up against such a powerful puncher. Canelo, though a natural middleweight, was outsized in his 2022 light heavyweight bout against Bivol. Likewise, Zurdo Ramirez appeared sluggish and one-dimensional when he faced Bivol in November of the same year. While Bivol's skill set once dazzled fans, there's growing speculation that Beterbiev could reveal weaknesses some hadn't noticed. When I think of what is a machine, it's Beterbiev more than any other boxer in recent years, said Aid Oladipo on his YouTube channel, talking about unified light heavyweight champion Artur Beterbiev ahead of his fight against Dmitry Bivol on October 12th. He added, "Some thought Callum Smith was going to go to Canada and take the titles from him. Beterbiev destroyed him. That's when I thought this guy is the real deal. Then there's Dmitry Bivol. I think he's poetry in motion. You have someone that will break you down, and you have someone that is poetry in motion. Bivol doesn't have that standout resume of Beterbiev. Among Bivol's greatest wins are his triumphs over Gilberto Ramirez, Canelo, and Joe Smith Jr. While not nearly as strong, his resume is comparable to Beterbiev's. Bivol shut Canelo down. You can't sleep on that performance. This was a Canelo on the lead up to that fight was on a run. At the time, I didn't think it was anything out of the ordinary, but obviously was. Looking back, he's hitting me on the arms and knocking me all over," said Callum Johnson to Seconds Out about his fight against Artur Beterbiev in 2018. Will his age affect him? At some point it will. Will the knee surgery affect him? Johnson asked about Beterbiev. Beterbiev's recent knee surgery casts doubt on whether he can withstand the demands of facing a mobile opponent like Bivol. It's not just about Bivol's movement, though. In the clinches, Bivol might deliberately put pressure on Beterbiev, targeting the knee to further sap his strength. If Dmitry Bivol emerges victorious against Artur Beterbiev, his fame is set to skyrocket. A win carries even greater stakes for Bivol, as Canelo Alvarez has expressed interest in a future clash with him next May, a matchup Alvarez has notably ruled out with Beterbiev. Canelo Alvarez has exhausted the list of marketable opponents at 168 pounds, leaving Terence Crawford as one of the only viable names left, though Crawford would have to jump up in weight for the lucrative opportunity. Few believe Crawford would pose a real threat in the ring, with most seeing it as a cash-driven bout, benefiting both Crawford and the promoters, should Canelo agree to the matchup.
Is there one person that comes to mind?
No.
Bivol maybe, just to get the rematch? Bivol maybe?
Bivol is one of the guys I have my rematch, no? To like I say, if he wins the 175 undisputed.
Do you think he does?
I think so. He has the ability to do it. You know, Beterbiev is a really strong fighter. It's going to be hard, but he can do it.
Bivol knows how to handle movers. Therefore, it will take a lot to overcome Beterbiev. Combination punchers like Bivol are ineffective against Beterbiev. If Bivol beats Beterbiev, it's going to be a great fight because it's almost impossible to be in a bad fight with Artur Beterbiev, said Chris Mannix on his podcast about the Artur Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol fight on October 12th. Either Bivol will stop Beterbiev in that fight, or he'll have to dig deep to win a decision. So, he will have some momentum. Not just having all the belts at 175, survive, but he'll have the momentum of coming off a tremendous performance that a lot of people would watch that. Mannix continued about the Bivol-Beterbiev fight. A victory over Beterbiev would elevate Bivol's profile, turning a rematch with Canelo into a blockbuster event for fans. However, should Beterbiev prevail, Canelo will need to explore different options, as he has no desire to face him. The risk is simply too great for Canelo, especially without the added appeal of a revenge storyline that a second fight with Bivol would offer. In addition to the loss to Bivol, Canelo will have another defeat to exact revenge on if he loses to Beterbiev as well. This would probably result in a poor knockout. Mannix added, "A lot of people would see on social media, and that's a bounce that he would benefit as well. If Bivol wins, I think it's going to be Bivol that Canelo Alvarez fights next May. Belts are not relevant, but to call yourself undisputed in another weight class, or have a chance to do it, I think that matters to Canelo, and I think he'd push for that fight to happen. If Bivol loses, it's gotta be Terence Crawford. But how does that fight get made because it's going to cost $100 million to get them both in the ring at least?" The showdown between Canelo and Crawford hinges entirely on whether Turki Al-Sheikh pushes hard enough for it. Canelo, on the other hand, remains unmotivated. He views the fight as a lose-lose scenario. Victory would bring little recognition. Even with an impressive performance, Canelo knows critics will find reasons to diminish his achievement. Only Crawford will emerge victorious from that bout. If he loses, he will have a reason to tell his admirers and will receive his largest payment to date. All Crawford has to do is go the 12-round distance or be competitive, and it would be a moral victory. It would be just like Edgar Berlanga, who is being praised for going the full 12 rounds against Canelo, even though he lost every round. Despite Canelo winning, he hasn't received much appreciation from fans. Berlanga is the one that fans are complimenting, and he just came to survive. Crawford could do the same, and he'll be knighted afterward for his valor, said Mannix. Does Turki Al-Sheikh have the appetite to make that fight happen after Crawford was in a fight that wasn't particularly entertaining against Israil Madrimov on August 3rd? If Crawford had stopped Madrimov in the 5th round, I think that would have built up the buzz for a Canelo fight. Crawford's showing against Madrimov on August 3rd left much to be desired and ranked as one of the most lackluster bouts on the card. Leading up to that fight, Crawford had yet to capture the attention or favor of casual boxing fans. His only noteworthy matchup to date was his bout with Errol Spence the previous year. The pay-per-view triumph of that matchup largely stemmed from Spence's star power. Crawford, on the other hand, played a minimal role in generating those PPV buys. Many casual fans are unfamiliar with Crawford, and Canelo's choice to face him isn't likely to spark their enthusiasm. Instead, they would prefer to see Canelo take on fighters like David Benavidez and a host of others over Crawford, said Mannix. But as it stands, Crawford coming away with kind of a so-so, pretty close win. I wonder if that makes Turki Al-Sheikh say, "I'll pay for this fight, but I'm not going to go super big for this fight." I might have been lowballing that because Canelo has made it clear that if this fight happens, it's going to happen on his terms, and you're going to have to present him with a big bag, about it likely costing more than $100 million for Turki to make the Canelo-Crawford fight because Canelo will want $100 million plus for him to agree to fight Crawford. Canelo has expressed his desire for a hefty $150 million payday, and while he might be open to negotiating a lower figure, it would probably still fall around the $100 million mark. On the other hand, Crawford is also expected to seek a significant financial offer, especially considering that his recent bout with Israil Madrimov reportedly generated disappointing pay-per-view sales. Given these factors, the prospect of a matchup between Canelo and Crawford seems increasingly unlikely. Bivol became just the second fighter in history to overcome Canelo, outscoring him in a 2022 bout when the Mexican star stepped up to 175 pounds to contest Bivol's WBA title. Canelo recently expressed a strong desire to step up in weight class in order to seek redemption for that previous defeat, asserting that this matchup is the sole opportunity to enhance his legacy. He said, "Right now there's not much people left. I fought everybody. Bivol is one of the guys I'd have my rematch with to add to legacy. Like I say, if he wins 175, undisputed." Speaking earlier about the bout, Canelo predicted that Bivol would win, citing his in-and-out footwork as the key. He added, "I think if Bivol has the condition and good game plan to go there, in and out, and do all these things, I think he wins." In a recent interview with Fight Hub TV, Canelo shared his updated perspective, now viewing the matchup as a balanced 50-50 fight, fully acknowledging that Beterbiev has a legitimate shot at victory. He said, "No, I don't plan to travel to watch it. This is a 50-50 fight between two very accomplished fighters. Bivol is going to have a very tough opponent in front of him. It's going to be a good fight." Meanwhile, Joshua Buatsi has placed himself at the front of the queue to face the win over the clash between Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol. He said, "If not, I wouldn't have taken this fight. It was for the interim. The winner gets the shot. I got the win, so it's very self-explanatory." self-explanatory. Buatsi emerged victorious by split decision, having knocked Hutchinson down twice during the match, while the Scot suffered a point deduction as well. Buatsi proved to be the more deserving champion, adhering to his core techniques and focusing on effective body shots that created significant challenges for Hutchinson. Buatsi added, "Willie was tricky. I have to give him credit. This fight wouldn't have got the attention it got if not because of him. I said that to him in the ring. I said, tough fight. When we were doing the medicals together, I said, Willie, respect to you, man. I met his dad and granddad. Lovely men. I thanked them. He said, he's a hell of a tough guy. I said to him, Willie, I wasn't that good when I was 26, 25, so props to you. He's a very tough man. I'll give him credit. He got up every time. When I was hitting him, I knew I was hurting him. He got up every time and came back stronger." Buatsi, guided by Snack founder Victor Conte, sprint coach Remy Korchemny, and trainer Virgil Hunter, expressed his gratitude to his team while reflecting on the significance of the recent fight week, which culminated in a card headlined by the highly anticipated match between Daniel Dubois and Anthony Joshua. Buatsi said, "My team, I want to shine the light on them. They were fantastic with me. I felt the last 2 weeks I was a bit weird towards them. So the support system that I've got, my family and my friends, I'm forever grateful. It's been a hell of a week. We can't say it's been a normal fight week, because it hasn't. I've never been to Central London this many times in 1 week. We kept on doing it. It was a bit annoying, but credit to Riyadh season, it's been a massive buildup. I got the win. I'm forever grateful." Following his triumphant reign as the undisputed heavyweight champion, Alexander Usyk is already looking ahead, boldly forecasting the future of the light heavyweight division. The imminent battle between Beterbiev and Bivol is set to be a thrilling spectacle, featuring two unbeaten champions in a high-stakes encounter. The excitement surrounding this match reached new heights following Bivol's dominant display against Zinad, where he demonstrated his devastating knockout ability by sending his opponent to the canvas with a powerful left hook in the 6th round. This triumph has solidified Bivol's status as a serious contender, standing toe-to-toe with the fierce reputation of his Russian counterpart. Alexander Usyk offered his perspective on the upcoming bout, voicing his conviction that Bivol has the potential to come out on top. The Ukrainian champion said, "I guess Bivol, he has good legs, good movement. I watched the fight with Canelo Alvarez. Good boxing, defending, counterpunch and combos. Overall, it appears that both fighters are remarkably well matched. Beterbiev flaunts an astounding 100% knockout rate, while Bivol has garnered attention for his victory over boxing icon Canelo Alvarez. Anticipation is high for an electrifying clash, but if Usyk's forecasts prove accurate, Bivol may hold the advantage." Additionally, Bivol has revealed how he modified his tactics in preparation for his bout against Zinad. On May 3rd, Artur Beterbiev shared the unfortunate news that an injury would keep him from fighting. This setback paved the way for undefeated Malik Zinad, who readily accepted the opportunity to fill in and keep the event alive. While many supporters still held out hope for a Bivol win, there lingered a subtle possibility that the underdog could pull off a shocking upset. Yet, when Bivol disclosed his change in tactics upon Zinad's arrival, it became evident that Zinad was unlikely to emerge victorious. In the post-fight interview, Bivol said, "We are professional boxers. We have to change tactics at any moment, and I had enough time to change my preparations for a different fighter to Beterbiev." After months of eager anticipation, boxing fans are preparing for an electrifying clash on October 12th, when Artur Beterbiev faces off against Dmitry Bivol in the ring. This much-awaited match is set to determine the next undisputed light heavyweight champion, a title that has remained vacant since Roy Jones Jr. held it in 1999. Roy Jones Jr., a legendary figure in the boxing world, provided fans with a series of remarkable bouts at 175 pounds. Yet, many enthusiasts believe his true pinnacle was during his reign as Superman in the super middleweight division. In a recent discussion with Boxing Social, Jones offered his perspectives on the much-anticipated light heavyweight face-off between Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol, a match that holds great importance in the sport. His insights on this monumental event are certainly compelling and deserve our focus. Jones, who secured victories against renowned adversaries such as Montel Griffin, a faded Mike McCallum, Virgil Hill, Reggie Johnson, Julio Cesar Gonzalez, and Clinton Woods throughout his tenure in the light heavyweight division, has shared his thoughts on the highly anticipated unification clash scheduled for October 12th between two undefeated Russian contenders. He firmly declared that it is not a 50-50 fight and has already pinpointed a clear favorite. Jones said of Bivol against Beterbiev, "No, it's not a 50-50 fight. 1. Beterbiev is much older. Beterbiev has been knocked down. Bivol has never been down. Bivol has been in there with who, at the time, was the pound-for-pound best in Canelo Alvarez and made him look like nothing. So it's not a 50-50. Beterbiev has got everything to show me to bring it back to a 50-50 fight." Confronting a formidable force like Beterbiev, who possesses an impeccable record featuring an astonishing 100% knockout rate, is undoubtedly a daunting challenge for any contender, Bivol included. Despite being 39 and facing challenges along the way, as pointed out by Jones, Beterbiev has a remarkable ability to rebound and secure victories. Notably, no opponent has ever managed to last all 12 rounds with him. However, the critical question remains, has Beterbiev faced an adversary as technically skilled as Bivol? Jones further added, right now, Bivol has the advantage at 60-40. Now, Beterbiev is a hell of a guy and one hell of a fighter, and has awesome power, but he has also been down, and the way I see it is, if someone else has knocked you down, then I've got to get you down. You understand me? Now it's one hell of a punch to walk through to get him down, so it's a very dangerous game to play. At 33, has Bivol ever faced an opponent with the raw, explosive power of Beterbiev? Such questions only intensify the excitement surrounding this highly anticipated matchup. While Jones presents some compelling points, many experts are predicting a knockout or stoppage in favor of Beterbiev when the fight begins. Next month, Dmitry Bivol's exceptional skills will be put to the ultimate test against Artur Beterbiev's fierce power and remarkable precision. Although Beterbiev possesses a diverse array of skills that extend beyond mere brute strength, his impeccable knockout record, boasting a remarkable 100% rate, steals the spotlight as he prepares to face Bivol, a tactical genius in the ring. Each fighter has established their supremacy in the 175-pound weight class, patiently awaiting this eagerly anticipated clash. In a recent interview with Boxing News, Sergey Kovalev, a former champion who claimed 3 of the 4 major titles during his peak, described the match as tightly contested. However, he ultimately favored Bivol, citing the latter's impressive footwork as a key factor in his assessment. He said, "It's difficult to make any predictions, but I lean more to Dmitry because Dmitry has legs. Legs to jump forward and back, forward and back. Movement decides a lot in boxing. It's a Russian saying, the legs feed the wolf." Blair Cobbs is looking ahead to the much-anticipated showdown between Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol later this year, predicting that the clash will be intense. As a welterweight contender, Cobbs views Bivol as the toughest challenge he's faced so far and has confidence that Bivol will emerge victorious. Cobbs said, "Artur Beterbiev has unbelievable strength and power. I don't know how Bivol is going to be able to fight somebody like that. I don't see Bivol being able to survive something like that, but it will be very interesting. Bivol could land too many punches on Beterbiev, mess around, and start piling on points. That's going to be a very exciting fight. It's going to be worth looking at. I can't wait to see that one." Since 2017, Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol have firmly established themselves as dominant figures in the light heavyweight division. That year marked a pivotal moment for Bivol, who rose to prominence as the full WBA champion after Badu Jack chose to vacate the title. Concurrently, Beterbiev seized the opportunity to claim the vacant IBF title with a victory over Enrico Colling. He further solidified his legacy by defeating Alexander Gvozdyk and Joe Smith Jr., capturing the WBC and WBO belts in the process, all while preserving his unblemished knockout record. In his most recent 10 bouts, Bivol has only achieved a stoppage against one opponent, showcasing a notable contrast to Beterbiev's reputation for explosive knockouts. This intriguing scenario prompts a compelling question as they prepare for their undisputed clash next month. Will Bivol's technical skill be enough to counter Beterbiev's formidable strength? Lyndon Arthur offers a unique perspective following his unanimous decision defeat to Bivol last year, coupled with his previous sparring experiences alongside Beterbiev. He shared these reflections with Boxing News. He said, "I used to think Bivol, no, I still think Bivol's the best. Bivol's elite, but now I felt Bivol doesn't hit as hard as he needs to keep Beterbiev off. I've sparred Beterbiev. I know how hard he hits in 16 ounces. I wouldn't like to take them shots in 10 ounces. Not for as long as that anyway, as a 12-round fight." In contrast, David Benavidez is preparing to make his mark in the light heavyweight division, a realm currently ruled by 2 formidable champions, Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev. These undefeated fighters hold all 5 world titles in this category and are scheduled to face off in an eagerly anticipated bout later this year. Bivol and Beterbiev were set to clash on June 1st, but an injury to Beterbiev forced a change in plans, postponing their highly anticipated bout. Malik Zanad stepped in to take on the WBA and IBO light heavyweight champion, putting up a commendable fight. However, he was ultimately stopped in the 6th round by TKO, clearing the way for Bivol's next title unification match. As Beterbiev's recovery recovery remains uncertain. A new date for their long-awaited encounter has yet to be revealed. Before stepping into the ring for his light heavyweight debut against Alexander Gvozdyk on June 15th, Benavidez took the opportunity to share his thoughts in an interview with Fight Hub TV, discussing the highly anticipated showdown between Bivol and Beterbiev. He said this: "It's a hard fight for both of them. I'm kind of leaning with Bivol because Bivol is a great boxer and he has punching power. Beterbiev is a little bit older. I think his body is breaking down a little bit." Meanwhile, Canelo Alvarez has made it clear that he wishes to take on Bivol should he secure a win against Beterbiev on October 12th. Canelo suffered a unanimous decision defeat to Bivol in 2022 after an intense 12-round battle, and he is eager to seek redemption. A rematch for the undisputed title at 175 pounds would be particularly meaningful for Canelo, offering him the chance not only to reclaim his honor, but also to achieve the prestigious status of a two-division undisputed champion. Canelo Alvarez and Eubank Jr. were set for a highly anticipated clash in 2024, but that bout will have to be postponed. The British fighter is currently focused on his upcoming match against Kamil Zaremida, which will take place in Saudi Arabia. In September 2023, Eubank made his return to the ring in a much-anticipated rematch against Liam Smith. This time, he demonstrated his skill with a dominant performance, achieving a TKO in the 10th round and avenging his earlier defeat. This victory not only reinforced his position as a top contender in the middleweight division, but also kept the door open for a potential high-stakes encounter with Canelo Alvarez.
Beterbiev and Benavidez, who do you think is the biggest challenge for you?
Oh, Beterbiev.
Beterbiev?
Yeah,
Why is that?
of course. Because he's a champion. He has something to offer me. He's strong. He's another way. He's a lot of things. A lot of things.
Following their recent triumphs, the upcoming fight in Saudi Arabia represents a crucial turning point for both fighters. For Eubank, a victory is vital to keep his dreams of facing Canelo alive. On the other hand, Zaremida sees this match as a valuable opportunity to bolster his standing in the middleweight division. The excitement is building for one of the most anticipated matchups of 2024. Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol will face off in a thrilling battle to determine the undisputed light heavyweight champion. Before the main event, fans can anticipate an exhilarating undercard filled with world title clashes. Discussing the daunting task of facing Artur Beterbiev, Dmitry Bivol reveals his genuine excitement about it. Bivol shares his admiration for the formidable challenge presented by the 39-year-old Beterbiev, who recently claimed victories over British contenders Callum Smith and Anthony Yarde by way of technical knockouts. Bivol told reporters at the first fight press conference in London, "I'm happy because when I signed a contract to be a pro boxer, I had a goal to be undisputed champion. Everything I went through was to make it to my goal. Even my fight against Canelo was my tickets for big fights. Now I'm happy that I will have a fight for all of the belts. Every time when I'm on my training camp, I think my opponent is the most dangerous opponent in the world." Make sure to check out some of our other videos on the screen if you enjoyed this one.